Is it possible to get wins in Warzone 2 without having really good players on your team? The answer is yes, and I'm going to show you how to do it in this video. I'm Silver Bullet, and this is Bullet Points. In this video, we're going to be talking about strategy in Warzone 2 and how simply playing the game a certain way can almost guarantee you a win, regardless of how good you and your teammates are. And no, it doesn't involve flying around the map, deleting enemies, and dropping 20-kill games. It involves positioning, patience, and utilizing the game's features to your advantage. First thing to do is take the high ground. As with virtually all Battle Royale games and Jedi lightsaber duels, you'll find that taking the high ground is the best strategy for winning games. This is because it acts as both an observation tower for your team to spy on enemies and a launch pad for easily repositioning when the zone changes. When the battle starts, take a look at the map and determine which location offers both altitude and proximity to center circle. Land as close to that area as you can, while also being able to get some decent loot and being careful to avoid enemy teams. Ideally, your team should have at least one UAV and one loadout weapon apiece before you attempt to hold the high ground. If you find that your designated spot is contested by another team, you'll have to either remove them by force or stay close by and wait until they leave. Once you have the high ground, fortify. Use defensive lethals to defend the position. Use things like claymores and proximity mines and field upgrades like suppression mines, trophy systems, deployable covers, and even tactical cameras on any paths the enemy may take to reach you. When you're in trouble, kill streaks like the cluster mine and the mortar strike come in handy. Once you have the high ground, it's time to do a little recon. Information on the enemy's whereabouts is the single most valuable asset to have when navigating a battle royale. Winning teams more often than not know where the enemy teams are and the condition and battle readiness of those teams. The high ground is perfect for getting this information, so while you're waiting for the next zone to appear, you should set about doing just that. Throw up a recon drone and ping enemy players. Use thermal scopes like the spotter scope to scan surroundings and find enemy teams. Strongholds and black sites are especially useful for gathering information because, in addition to providing your team with a loadout, they pop a free UAV that never expires. If a stronghold or black site pops nearby and the coast is clear, take it. When you spot an enemy team, take note of which direction they seem to be heading. Remember, you're not going for kills here. You're avoiding combat as much as you can. The goal is to know the approximate whereabouts of as many teams as possible so that when the zone recenters on a different part of the map, you'll know which path to take to get there without dying. When the circle collapses, it's decision time. If you're still in zone, it's usually best to stay put, especially if your current position towers above the new zone. If not, gather all your booby traps and pop a UAV because it's time to move. This move is commonly referred to as a rotation, but that's not really accurate for what we're doing here. We are recentering, meaning a move straight to the center of the new zone. And center here is relative since Warzone 2 introduced the multi-circle mechanic. If you get multiple circles, we're recentering to a point in one of the circles that is very close to the center point between all the circles. Pick out a new piece of high ground and get there as fast as possible. This should be relatively safe because you've done the recon. Pop a UAV and take the path to the center with the least number of enemies, and don't engage unless you have to. Once you're there, repeat the process. Fortify, do reconnaissance, defend the high ground, and recenter when it's time. After you've made it to the 5th or 6th circle collapse, you'll need to change things up a bit. There's no longer a need to be at the center of the zone because the area is small enough to effectively engage any enemies. High ground is nice to have in these final zones, but it isn't a deal breaker for much the same reason. What you're really looking for now is cover and concealment. The idea here at the end of the match is to get as many enemy teams engaging each other as possible, and a surefire way to do that is to avoid being seen. This means finding any cover you can, be it a building, a boulder, a berm, yes, even a bush. Be the bush. Stay on the edges of the zone to avoid being shot in the back. If you've saved any kill streaks, now's the time to use them. Use your cover to peek at enemy positions, watching for any movement, tracers, etc., but avoid drawing attention. You want to watch that player count tick down to about the final 2 or 3 teams. Only go for the easy kills and don't stray from cover. If you find yourself having to move, give yourself cover with smoke grenades, kill streaks, or even covering fire. Breaking plays can force enemies to retreat for a few precious seconds. Always keep your eye on the top right of the screen so that you're always aware of how many players are left. Your dead teammates should be helping you out with this. In these final moments, it's advantageous to split if enough of your team is still alive. Having multiple sight lines crisscrossing such a small zone almost ensures domination and a win. Beware, though, of the rats. Players tend to go prone, hide in bushes, and shoot you from the gas at the end of the match. If all goes to plan, you'll close in on those last guys and take the win. But if not, don't get discouraged. Warzone is designed to be inconsistent and chaotic. You're going to get a lot of terrible pulls and impossible situations that make it seem like the game doesn't want you to win. But the strategy described in this video mitigates some of that randomness and gives the casual player an opportunity to win without having to defeat a lot of other players. Keep at it and the wins will come. And as always, like and subscribe if you like this video. I love to hear feedback, so let me know your results using this strategy in the comments below. Y'all take care.